Kade, welcome to 20 something.
Let's go.
I'm so glad that you were here. This is a conversation I've been looking forward to since we booked it, which was weeks ago. So
I'm so excited to be here. Straight up.
Yeah, me too. So for the person who, is spending an hour or so with us today, what about their life and their mindset is going to shift or change based on what you say?
I will say they will have an idea on what specific area in their life needs to change, and they will have an idea on exactly how to do it by getting out of the comfort zone.
There's no one better to speak on comfort zone than you. So let's get into it. Wait, are we recording? Hey, welcome back to 20 something. I'm Liv and I'm so glad you're here today. This podcast is all about navigating your defining decade, building the habits, the courage, and your identity that shape the rest of your life. And today's episode is one that is going to get you out of your comfort zone and into that growth zone. We're sitting down with Kade Peterson, a creator and entrepreneur who has built his entire life pushing the edges of comfort. You've probably seen his videos. He's typically dancing in his car next to strangers at stoplights, running marathons in some wild costumes, dancing in airplane aisles, getting on stage with T-Pain, or driving around in race cars with him. And all of these wild challenges that show what happens when you stop staying comfortable and start getting uncomfortable. But what I love about Kade is behind all of those viral moments is a mindset. And today we're talking about how discomfort becomes a catalyst, not just for big flashy accomplishments, but for confidence, purpose, and growth. It changes your life. If you're feeling stuck, scared, and you were wondering how to take that leap, or you're waiting for life to change, this episode is going to hit home for you. I promise that as you're listening to it, you're going to have a moment as Kade is speaking that's going to feel like, you know what? That's what I need to do. That's what I need to pursue. I'm so excited that you're here and I am so excited for this conversation. Before we get into anything, Kade, I just want to start off by helping people understand a little bit more like who you are and what it is exactly that you do. So if you had to pick out of all of the things that you have done, what is maybe the most ill-advised out of your comfort zone thing you've done up to date?
Yeah, the answer to this question might surprise a lot of people for those who have seen what I've done. But the first thing that comes to my head is I got asked on a date. I'd never met this girl before, and we're going to yoga. This is already two things that are uncomfortable for me. First date with someone I don't know, going to yoga. I suck at yoga.
Same.
And my friend Jackson that you know convinced me to show up to this date wearing dress clothes. So like suit and tie, like full pants, like.
Is this hot yoga?
Hot yoga.
Okay.
Like, so it was like three things uncomfortable, all combined into one. I show up to this date just like dressed as if I'm going to the ball.
And you didn't say anything to her before?
No.
Okay.
No, she had no idea. And I'm like talking to the front desk and they're like, you can go change over like in the changing room. I'm like, oh no, I'm good. And they're like, you're going to wear that? And I was like, yeah. And I just tried to act confident, but I was terrified.
Yeah.
And then like I meet her. She was super fun about it. Thought it was kind of hilarious. And yeah, walk into the room and everyone's like,
this guy?
This guy's wearing a shirt and tie. What is going on? So
Yeah.
that was so uncomfortable, but it made for a great story. And I learned a lot from it, actually.
Like what?
I'll never forget, like halfway through, I was like laying up doing some stretch, looking at the ceiling. And I was like, if I can do this, like what can't I do? Like, I was so scared to do this. But then like in hindsight, like looking back to it, I mean, that was like a year and a half ago. It's like, what was the actual danger? There was no actual danger. And it was like, okay, this isn't as bad as I thought it was. Like before I was like the end of the world feeling, but then during it, I was like, okay, that was uncomfortable, but like, I'm here. This isn't that bad. And it just reiterated the process of being uncomfortable is never as bad, nor does it last as long as your brain makes it out to be.
Were you dying of heat the entire time?
Yeah. And I did have to end up taking off like my suit coat, and I was like unbuttoned, like little by little. I'm like, like just undressing.
No, because hot yoga, it's like a different level. You like sweat to death in there.
Yeah. So it was just combination of heat, embarrassment, like it's just everything. But
that's why I think your platform is so unique for so many reasons. But you very actively go against one of the most driving forces in our life, which is staying in our comfort zone, right? And I think that happens to us all the time, whether it's like going out on dates or starting a business. I think so much of us, I know I do this all the time. And it almost, once you start being more aware of it, you start realizing how much you do it, thinking about how you're perceived by other people, right? Like, oh, I wonder if this person is thinking this about me, or I wonder if I start this business, what it's going to say about me. And it sounds like there maybe was a time in your life where you felt the same and maybe didn't step out of your comfort zone as much.
Yeah.
So can you take us back to what maybe that time looked for you and how that drove your actions?
100%. We as humans, like our potential, it's unlimited. The only limits that we have are the ones we place on ourselves. And for everyone, it's going to be the desire for comfort. That's what is going to limit us from reaching our potential. So yeah, it was about 3 years ago. I was in a state, getting out of a relationship, trying to figure out how to improve, how to be better, making new goals, reading these books. And I came to this realization that I was just living so comfortable. I was thinking about who was it that I wanted to become and where I was. And it was like, okay, what's preventing me from becoming this person? And I realized it was my desire for comfort. And what really sealed it for me is I went to a seminar by the Iron Cowboy. And
he was in my ward growing up.
Was he really?
Yes. Yeah.
He's like, I owe like my journey to him.
Didn't you just run a race with him?
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. We ran into each other during a race. Yeah. He's like a mentor of mine now.
That's cool.
So it's like, it's crazy that I can say that because like, he's a huge reason of who I am today. I went to a seminar by him. And during the seminar, he said, when was the last time you intentionally made yourself uncomfortable? And that just like hit me. It's just like, I've never intentionally, like, why would I intentionally make myself uncomfortable? Like you said, it goes against all human logic to intentionally make yourself uncomfortable. And then he just went on to explain how through intentionally seeking discomfort, it gets you comfortable with being uncomfortable. And that's what allowed him to do 100 Ironmans in 100 days. And I was just so inspired by that. I was like, I'm sick of living in my comfort zone. I'm going to break it. Like, went home that night. I actually started making the list in the seminar of all my fears, everything that scared me.
Wow.
And I went home and just like finished this list of all the things that made me uncomfortable. And then for the next 30 days, I just did one of those things and just intentionally made myself uncomfortable. And that's how it all began. And
then you started documenting those things on social media, right?
Yeah.
And was that in an attempt to, I think I've heard you say to hold yourself accountable, but then also I'm imagining that the hope was to maybe inspire others to do the same?
100%. You nailed it. When I wanted to do this, I was talking to my brother about it. He's like, you should totally post this on social media. Like this would help a lot of people. Like a lot of people could probably relate to this. And I was like, yeah, and that terrifies me to think about documenting this. And I was like, okay, well, that means I should probably do it. I've always like, ever since I began this journey, anytime I don't want to do something, that's usually the best time to do it. It's like when you don't want to go to the gym, most likely that's the time when you should go to the gym. When you don't want to get out of bed, it's probably the time that you should get out of bed. And so when I was like, I really don't want to post on social media, I'm like, okay, I probably should document this on social media. And I'm so glad I did. Like you said, it held me accountable through the 30 days. And then, yeah, I've been able to help a lot of people who feel the same thing, that feel like they're in a rut, feel like they're not progressing, and they just need a little push and they need to see someone else getting out of their comfort zone so they know that they can as well.
Yeah, I love that so much. I think there's a couple things that I'm initially thinking, because I knew you before I really knew your social media platform.
Yeah. But
I remember seeing you post something about how you used to dance and you would like cover your face. And then the transition, because you are an incredible dancer, which I love that I exposed you with that with some TikToks before this, which I'm so excited to share.
It's so great.
But what a cool transition to go from covering your face, you know, that fear of social media, to then that huge video of you that went viral. I think it was at a Chris Brown. Was it Chris Brown concert?
I mean, that one, it was one of them. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you've had so many. Yeah. But being able to be so front and center about it, like just the other day, I saw you posting one walking down like the aisle of an airplane to like T-Pain and things like that. And what a dramatic shift.
It really is.
What has been some of the power that you've seen, like not hiding behind a mask, even just on like a social media front?
Yeah, it really is so crazy to think about like who I was 5 years ago, hiding behind a mask, not wanting people to know that I'm doing social media, using a fake name, like hiding everything. I was so worried about what other people would think of me. And now it's like, I'm doing the exact opposite. If my past self could see who I am today, he would be be so like, are you kidding me? Like, no, I would never do that. Like when I showed up here, you're like, all right, we're going to do 3 TikToks right now, putting you on the spot. We're going to do these dances.
And you killed it.
And it was uncomfortable for me, but it was so fun. And is like, if you would have asked the Kade 5 years ago to do that, he would have been like, I don't know, probably not. Let me get my mask. Let me rehearse something. Let me come up with something. But no, it's like a new form of confidence, and new, just like, man, life is so short. Why do I care so much about what other people think? And it's just, life is just so much more beautiful when you do what you want to do without caring too much about the opinions of others.
You know, it's been so like beautiful too, as someone who has been a recipient of like the things you put on social media. And I've seen it like in our entire friend group and just anyone I think who interacts with you online at all. And I've caught myself doing this because I remember seeing a video of you working out at the gym in like, I don't even remember what you were wearing. It was like a zebra onesie or something. Yeah. And I remember thinking like, wow, if I went to the gym and I was wearing that, I would drop dead of embarrassment. Like I could never. But then I was at the gym just a couple weeks later and I saw someone who was wearing a very similar outfit. I'm sure they were inspired by your video. And it was crazy because my first thought was, what is that person wearing? And then immediately followed up by like, you know, that's actually insanely cool. Like I think you challenge stereotypes of us perceiving others in like a weird way. It's encompassed so much bravery and courage and confidence around it. And so I just think that's amazing that you're not even encouraging people to just get out of their comfort zones, but you're encouraging more positive associations with how we perceive other people too.
Thank you. I appreciate that. That's funny that you saw someone else doing it. And for the most part, a lot of times in our lives, we're doing stuff and we think, oh, they're looking at my messy hair. They're looking at the stain on my shirt. They're noticing this. They're noticing my pimple. Like we're so like self-conscious. In reality, the other person is thinking the exact same thing. Oh, I wonder if I smell. I wonder if this. And everyone is thinking this. And so when I'm at the gym wearing this onesie, just looking like a fool wearing snow boots.
Oh yeah, it was snow boots.
It's like snow boots and a onesie. It's like I was so uncomfortable doing it, people look, but then they just go right back to like themselves. They don't allow that to consume their life. They're just like, that's weird. Now what are people thinking about me? So it's a freeing thing when you can just be whoever you are and realize that it's not as big of a deal as you think it is.
Yeah. Well, I think one thing that I'm so curious to learn more about is how this increases your confidence, because I think that a big argument can be like, well, if I want to, and you can apply this to any situation, like let's say you're starting a company. It's like, well, in order to feel confident in what I'm doing, I have to have years of experience. Or, you know, if I want to run a marathon, which you do in full-blown costumes as well. But like, if I want to do that, like there's a lot of things, it's easy to not pursue something you want to do because you feel like you don't have the competency or the experience to back it up.
Yeah.
But how does it actually increase your confidence stepping out of your comfort zone and doing these things that make you uncomfortable?
Yeah, I would say it's like the only way to increase confidence is by stepping out of your comfort zone. Confidence isn't something that like is given to you. It's something that's learned and earned. So it doesn't matter how extroverted, introverted your background, like some people might have it naturally more than others, but confidence is something that everyone can develop. And it comes by doing things like repetitively until you truly believe like, this is who I am. And so it's like 5 years ago, if someone was like, hey, go run this amount of miles, I'd be like, I can't do that. Like, I'm not confident enough. Like I could never do that. But then because of how many times I pushed myself out of my comfort zone in running, it's like now if someone's like, hey, let's go do a half marathon next week, it's like, I could probably do that. And so it's just like by doing these things over and over and over again, you realize like, okay, like I am capable of doing this. And anytime you go through something hard, it helps you in any other instance. So a lot of times in a lot of my challenges, people are like, Kade, how does watching a movie standing up, like FaceTiming your ex-girlfriend, like all these things, how does this help you?
Both of those things were iconic, by the way.
Like I do a lot of weird things. People are like, how does that help you? And the reason why it helps is because anytime you do anything that you don't want to do, it develops resilience and confidence, and that carries over into every aspect of your life.
Mm.
So whenever I'm doing anything and I'm like, oh, I don't know if I can do this, I look back to other challenges that I've done. I'm like, okay, I did this in the past. That's nothing compared to this. Like, I can get through this. And so through just repetitive discomfort, it helps you in any other area of like, okay, I can do this.
I think that's such a powerful principle. I just was interviewing a trauma therapist actually, and she was talking about that when you go through really hard instances in your life, you can look for proof in the world of disasters. Like she brought up the example of 9/11, and she was basically saying that every year when she came back to 9/11, that this absolutely devastating disaster, that it seemed like, how would we ever recover? How would we ever get this cleaned up? That every year she came back, it got a little better. And now we have this beautiful museum and monument that serves as a tribute to all the lives that were lost, and how that served as a reminder to her when her life was up in turmoil, that it was like, man, if like mankind could recover from such a terrible disaster, then surely my life like can recover. And I think that's, basically the same principle you're illustrating. I think even when I just signed up for an Ironman, and I'm so scared. Kate, I'm so scared. I'm going to drown.
When?
I'm like actually going to drown. It's in like 3 weeks. I'm like going to drown. I know. Okay, wait. Half Ironman. Half.
Hey, don't discredit yourself.
I'm going to drown.
Don't discredit yourself. Half Ironman. That's crazy.
But I think it's the principle you're illustrating, right? Where it's like, okay, I can be like, well, I ran a marathon and I have done other hard things. So who's to say I can't swim? Who's to say I can't
stack those wins,
get on a bike? Yeah. It's like a really powerful, like it almost takes the emotion out of it a tiny bit, and you can like logic yourself into it a little bit more.
Yeah. And something that I love about what you just said is a lot of times people see what I do and they say like, I could never do that. And it's like, you don't have to do that. Like everyone's comfort zone's different. But I did a 1,000 pull-up challenge in a day. It took me about 8 hours. People were like, I could never do that. It's like, oh, you don't have to do that. But 2, it's not like I just hopped on the bar one day and I did 1,000 pull-ups.
Yeah.
It's like something that you work toward. Like you're not just going to go do a half Ironman having never ran or something. You start small. So whenever people are like, okay, like what can I do to get out of my comfort zone? Like where do I start? It's like, just start small. Whatever is something that you're scared of doing, go do the smallest version of that and then stack that win. And then you can increase it. Like you wouldn't go do an Ironman tomorrow if you had never biked, ran, or swam.
Yeah.
But because you've run, because you've tried these things, you're like, okay, I'm capable of this. Let's increase it a little bit more.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's easy for people to see your videos. I know you and I do this. I'm like, this man never feels uncomfortable anymore. Like even as we were filming those TikToks and you were like, oh, this is out of my comfort zone. It like kind of stopped me in my tracks for a second. I was like, no, not you. So when you're doing these things, like let's take, for example, your T-Pain challenge you just did, right? Where you posted dancing to T-Pain every single day. Was that uncomfortable?
100%.
How do you like deal with that?
Yeah. So many people think that I'm just immune to discomfort, but you don't ever get like immune to it. You just get better at dealing with it, and it gets like less uncomfortable. You think about the first time you do anything. What podcast number is this for you?
When we release this, it will probably be 5.
Okay. So, I mean,
we're just babies.
I bet even this podcast compared to your first one, like this one's a little bit less kind of nerve-wracking, a little bit less scary compared to your first one. And that's how it is with anything. The first time you do something, it's always scary. The more you do it, the easier it becomes. Now, you may be able to get to the point where it's just second nature and you're fine doing it. And I think a lot of my videos, I did that. So for those who don't know, I dance every day to T-Pain until I met him. And it was uncomfortable for me because it's like, I don't know if I'm actually going to meet him.
Yeah.
Like, I really think I can, but that's out of my control. Like it's going to be up to him. And I would try and find ways to increase it even more. Like I feel like dancing in the car now at stoplights, that used to terrify me. Now that is something that kind of comes second nature, but then doing it in a stadium where the entire stadium all of a sudden is now watching you, or doing it on an airplane in an aisleway, like doing it while running a marathon, those types of things, it was uncomfortable. It was like the first time doing it in that instance. And so it was scary, but it was like, okay, if I can do it here, I can do it over here. And it's like, I always tell myself, it's like, what's the worst case scenario? and it's never anything like valid.
Yeah.
And so it's like at the end of it, it's always like, why was I scared to do that? Like there's really nothing to be afraid of. And so I kind of just run myself through that process of like, just do it. Like, it's not as bad as your brain's making it out to be.
Yeah. Well, side note, your dancing at stoplight videos, it is wildly impressive how quickly you can move your chair back and up as you're dancing. It's
I can
wild.
never get a car that has electric recliners for that reason.
No, like, you literally never can.
Pull that lever
and you are up and back so fast. Yes. But I thought what was so interesting as you were posting those videos about T-Pain, because you got to how many days?
It was 87 days.
Which is a lot of days.
It is.
When you think about like posting.
Every single day. Anyone who does social media and like posting consistently, not like good quality content that's performing well every day, like it's a grind to stay consistent.
Yeah, takes a lot of time. And I actually had someone say this to me just a couple days ago. He was telling me that our character, like our true character, we can really like gauge and see where we're at when the emotion or passion we've made of a decision has passed. So like, you know, as you're sitting there and you're like, okay, this is so sick. I'm going to make this video about T-Pain. And then you get to day, 30 and 40. I'm sure you had thoughts of like, do I want to keep doing this? Do I keep doing 100%.
This? 100%. It's like every single day.
Yeah. And I think that's what's so amazing is it's like everyone's successful that you see. Like it's so easy for someone to stumble across a video of you and T-Pain. You're like driving race cars around and you're like on stage with him. Like it's really easy for someone to stumble across that video and not see the 80 something days that went into it beforehand.
Yeah. Everyone wants to be part of the result and not part of the journey. Like, and that's with everything in life, like being fit, having a happy family, financial success, whatever it is, everyone wants like the outcome without the journey. And there were so many days when it's like, is he ever going to reach out? I don't know.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, that's out of my control. What's in my control is I just keep going. Like, and I'm willing to do this for however long it takes. And if I don't quit, I can't lose. That was my mentality. It's like, I don't know when it's going to happen, but as long as I don't quit, like I never lose.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you saw, but he was watching every single video.
I think you told me that. And didn't he say something like, I just wanted to see how long you would go?
Yeah. So his team reached out. Thankfully, I'm so grateful for them. They like texted me and then we hopped on the phone. They're like, hey, can you be in Wisconsin next weekend? And I'm like, yes.
I booked in Wisconsin.
Yeah. So he had like a festival out there and went out there and he's like a drifter now and he's really good at it. And when I met him, he's like invited me to go drifting with him. So I got in a car with him.
That's insane.
And it was so cool because like I'm dancing basically in my car every day to T-Pain. And then I got to be in a car with T-Pain, him driving drifting, and I'm just having the time of my life.
Did you guys listen to T-Pain when you were in the car?
No, that would have been good though. But yeah, and I asked him like, while I was in the car, I was so that was so out of my comfort zone. I was in that car and I was just like, holy crap,
what do you say?
Like, I literally was like thinking, I'm like, what do I say?
You're like, cool apple bottom jeans, dude. Like, what do you say?
One of my childhood favorite artists that I'd listened to on my my iPod, like on replay.
Yes.
But yeah, I asked him, I was like, so, well, his team told me that when he found out I was coming, he was kind of bummed. He's like, I didn't want to meet him yet. Like,
no way.
And so I brought that up. I'm like, how long were you gonna like wait? And he's like, yeah, he's like, basically said he's been watching him and he's been loving him. And he's like, yeah, you're killing it. And I was like, how long are you gonna wait? He's like, I don't know. And I was like, dang, if it wasn't for his team, I could still be doing this challenge right now.
Yeah.
So anyways, super awesome experience. And it's just a testament to me. Like if you put your mind to something and you don't quit, you can achieve anything.
Yeah. Which is so cool. I remember having a conversation with one of our mutual friends. We were talking about it as you were posting these videos. And like she had asked me, she's like, do you think he's really going to meet him? And I was like, I don't know. But then we both were like, I just know he's not going to stop posting. Like we're going to get to day 1,000 if we have to. Like he will not stop.
That means a lot. I like seriously. I had a lot of people that would like come to me. Do you actually think you're going to meet him? And I'm like, yeah. Like, what do you mean? Do I actually think? Like, I wouldn't be doing it if I didn't think so. And they're like, okay. Like a lot of people doubted it and they didn't think I was going to be able to. And, but yeah, so I appreciate that confidence in me.
Yeah, no, it's cool. It was really fun to watch and see. Really, really fun. You know, I think there's a lot of people, even as I'm listening to you, there's a lot of ways that I know that I can be a lot more uncomfortable in my own life. And I know you mentioned like making the list when you were in that conference with the Iron Cowboy, but what is a good place someone can start if they want to start pushing themselves out of their comfort zone, but they're like, maybe I don't want to go to the gym in a zebra onesie. Like where do they start? Yeah.
And I will preface, you don't have to go to the gym in a zebra onesie.
I feel like I have to now.
I'll go with you.
Okay.
No, this is a fantastic question. And I think the majority, every single person listening already knows in their head, like the area in their life that they need to improve on. We're already aware of our fears, what makes us scared, what makes us uncomfortable. And we just need to be honest with ourselves and admit like, I'm scared to do this, and then go do it in the smallest way possible. You don't need to do something crazy. Like if you have social anxiety and you're scared to talk to people, you don't need to go out and get 10 girls' numbers. Just go and like wave at someone. Just go to the grocery store, and instead of just having your head down, just say hi to people. You don't need to start a conversation. Just start super basic. And then you realize like, okay, that wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. And then it's like, okay, now try and like get to know someone. Go and just kind of increase it a little bit more. And just little by little, you look back and be like, man, why was I ever scared of this?
Yes.
So
I love that. I literally was going in the grocery store today, and I realized as I was walking into the grocery store that I always have my AirPods in when I go grocery shopping. I don't know why. I have like no need to do that. And today as I was walking in, I was like, I'm just not going to put my AirPods in for 15 minutes.
Cool.
And it was crazy, like just the human interaction you have with other people. Cause it's so easy to like get your grocery list, you go to self-checkout, and you like don't interact with any other human beings.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking, cause I was thinking about interviewing you later today. And I was like, that's kind of sad that not having AirPods in at the grocery store makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah, no, it's very valid.
Yeah.
Totally valid. And I love that example. There's so many things that we all do that it's like, man, why does this make me uncomfortable? But we live in a world of so much comfort. We have access to like abundant of food anytime we want. If the heat is like a degree off, like we can change it. Like we can get in a car and drive anywhere in the world. Like we have access to so much comfort. And so with that, being comfortable, it's so easy. Like it makes it so easy to be uncomfortable. And something I would add to the previous question, and I loved your example, is just do things that like break the norm. If you go to this grocery store every week, go to a different one. Like break a habit. Like if you listen to music while you drive, try just not listening to music one day.
Yes,
like
that's a big one.
Doing small things like that just to get out of your norm, and then you like realize like, oh man, like I learned a lot. So a lot of my uncomfortable challenges were just doing things for the first time, going in and doing jujitsu. I've never done jujitsu before.
Yeah.
Going and just doing random things that I never tried before. I took diving lessons.
Oh, cool.
Just like trying new things. It's and then you're like, man, this is kind of funny. And you won't know that until you try it.
What have been some of your favorite things that you've done? Because off the top of my head, thinking, man, you went boating with wigs the other day. Like there's so many things that you've done, so many challenges. What have been some of the most that have had the biggest impact on you?
The biggest impact have been the ones to get over my fear of what other people think. That was probably one of the most crippling fears that I think everyone can relate to. We're always self-conscious, thinking about what other people think. So I would say those challenges of what other people think with me, going to the gym wearing a weird outfit for no reason. Like I went to the gym and I would just lay down on the floor for 30 seconds. I went to the grocery store, lay down for 30 seconds. People would walk by and be like, what is this guy doing?
This guy okay?
And then I just get up and like life goes on.
Yeah.
During my roommate's basketball game, he played college, and at halftime, I just walked down to the middle of the court and just laid down. And everyone in the stands are just like, they're like, a show about to happen, like what's going on? But then I just got back up and walked back to my seat. And so
everyone's like, huh?
Doing small things like that, it just over and over again is like, man, I let other people's opinions dictate so much of my life.
Yeah.
And I want to get over that. So just doing those little things has been the ones that have impacted me the most.
Well, from the outside looking in, I love one thing so much about your platform is like the joy that you spark. Like it's so fun to watch. And I feel like it seems like you get so much more like joy and happiness out of every day. Like those videos you were doing with your roommate Lewis when he falls asleep and you get all of your roommates and you're like moving around in crazy positions or building forts around him like while he's dead asleep.
Yeah.
Like things like that where it's just like, man, we say this all the time. We're like, living with Kade would be the funnest, like funniest thing ever because you just like find so much joy in it. And I think that there's a certain aspect of that when you stop caring so much about what people think, how you're perceived, and you do things that feel like satisfying. And like what you're saying, everyone knows like one area of their life that they need to get better. Honestly, even doing this podcast for me has been really scary. And
I got so excited when I saw your first podcast.
No, I was, and people have been so supportive and so kind, but literally BJ, my producer, asking me a motivational speech like once a week because I'm like, I'm just scared of this. Yeah. But I think that it brings, I don't know, you bring a lot of people around you a lot of joy, and it's inspired me to like care less because it seems like a really joyful way to live.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, I call it normalize not being normal. I think living a life that's normal is boring, stagnant, no growth. But when you do things in a not normal way, it just opens up a whole new world of things. And that's what my content is centered around. I mean, you saw yesterday or 2 days ago, I hired a Michael Jackson performer.
This is my favorite.
Come perform for my roommate. He's home alone, and Michael Jackson performer just walks in and just starts dancing for him.
That's
and it's just
so
like, it just
funny.
makes life fun when you just do not normal things. And I love that I got to this podcast. I mean, I do a good amount of podcasts.
Yeah.
But I've never done TikToks for a podcast. It's like, hey, we got this TikTok, this TikTok, and this TikTok. And I'm like, all right, let's run it.
No,
so
it's amazing.
I like when things are a little bit not normal.
Yeah. What did you say that Jackson made you do on his podcast?
Yeah. So the guy that
maybe the MJ was
the MJ.
It was like revenge.
So yeah, he had me on his podcast, and he knows me really well, and he knows like, you know, the comfort zone. That's like what I do. That's my whole content. So he's like, I'm not going to do a normal podcast with Kade. Like I got to do something different. And he knows that I hate spicy food. And so mid podcast, he just whips out habanero peppers and he's like, we're going to eat these. And I'm like, are you sure? Like I suck. Like this is going to be like 15 minutes of me probably just crying.
Yeah.
Like this is going to ruin the podcast. Like, no, we're doing this. And it was brutal. Like,
did he do it with you?
Yeah, he did it with me, but he handles spice way better. And I'm literally like, I also get the hiccups when I eat spicy food.
I wish I'm just spicy food.
I'm just like crying, like hiccuping. And he's like asking questions like, Kade, so like, tell me about like, what's impacted your life? And I'm just like, all over the place. And anyways, but it made it fun and enjoyable. And now it's like a memory I'll always have. So
I love that. I love that he did that. I felt the same thing preparing for this interview with you. I'm like, I have to do something crazy, which I know I told you this. I was going to force you to go skydiving. Unfortunately, it's November.
I would have loved
but it would have been, I know we might have to circle back and do that one day. But you know, when I was looking at just like all your social media and things, I thought one aspect that you've implemented that really is amazing are these 7 habits that you have on, you know, your Instagram. And it just talks about if you implement these 7 habits, how much your life will change. I don't know if you have all 7 of them memorized. You probably could list them off. But if not, which one do you feel like is the best place to start?
I don't think there is a best one to start because I think it's different for everyone. My whole journey is very tailored to me. And so whatever someone wants to achieve, they need to tailor it to them. And so some people might feel like good about their physical health and they might be consistent with the gym and their eating habits, but then they're not doing good financially. And so they need to work on that area. So there's not like an area that I would say this is the most important thing. It's just figuring out where your biggest weakness is and what that stems from, what is that you want to achieve, and then diving into it. And then one thing I'll mention with the 7, it's kind of just like each aspect of life. And the tips that I give are just like the most basic, easy tips possible. Like if someone is trying to improve their physical health, I don't recommend going to the gym every single day for an hour. You're going to get burnt out and it's going to be overwhelming.
Yeah.
And you're going to get discouraged and not follow through with it. That's why 95% of New Year's resolutions fail.
Yeah.
Because people go way too hard from the beginning. And so what I recommend is like starting super small. And then like the tip that I have for that one, 10 minutes a day. Like everyone has 10 minutes a day. Do a body workout, go for a walk, do something just for 10 minutes. And if you can just be consistent with that for like a month, you're like, okay, I can do it for 10 minutes. Like I'm going to try and up it and up it. And then let's say you do get to the point where you go for an hour a day and then you're getting burnt out. Doesn't hurt to like, let's say one day you're not feeling great and you're like, man, I just don't want to work out today. Like, okay, but I could go for a 10-minute walk. Like I can just do something just to train your mind that you can do those things even when they're hard. And as long as it's not like overbearing. If that makes sense.
No, I love that. I think there's such power in consistency. And I think in being rooted in like, okay, I'm doing this because it's something that I know is going to add and benefit to my life. I think such a perfect example of that with you is when your TikTok account got deleted. How many followers were you at when that got deleted?
It was at about 400K.
That's insane. I still can't believe that happened. And then it probably felt like in a lot of ways you were starting from square one.
It is exactly that. Yeah. So I'd been doing content consistently for 4 years. And then just out of nowhere, I'm on TikTok. I was only on TikTok at the time. So I wasn't on any other social media. And notification, your account's been permanently deleted. No rhyme or reason. No reason. Like I hired a bunch of companies to get it back. And they're like, we don't know what happened to your, like, this is something that we've never seen before. Weird. Just super random. It like felt like my life like fell apart, which sounds weird because it's like, oh, it's only TikTok, a social media account. But anyone who does social media and has been consistently doing it, it's like almost like a part of you. And put hours and like so much time into building this. And then, just lost it all. And so in that moment, it was like, okay, maybe social media isn't for me. Like maybe I learned what I needed to learn. And like, I'm like praying, like trying to figure out like, okay, what is God wanting me to learn from this? Like, what's the direction that I need to take? And after a few months, when I thought about like my long-term goal in life, which is to help inspire and influence as many people as possible to be the best versions of themselves, I realized I can't do that unless I have social media.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, this sucks. I have to start over.
Yeah.
From zero. So I created a new TikTok account. And the reason why I was only posting on TikTok is because my fear of what other people think. I didn't want to post on my personal Instagram.
Yes.
I didn't want my friends and family to be like, who's this? Like, Kade thinks he's an influencer. What's going on?
Yes.
And I was like, all right, if I'm going to like live according to what I preach, I need to post on my personal Instagram. And I created a YouTube as well. And I just started posting. And a lot of people are like, Kade, like, what's this like influencer? Like,
did you have people asking you that?
Yeah, like, people are like, you only have a few thousand followers. Like, what is this? Like, I didn't know you did this. And I'm like, yeah, like I do it and I enjoy it. And at the end of the day, it was like TikTok took everything from me in terms of my following and all my videos, all my hard work, but they can't take away who I became. They can't take away my knowledge of what I've learned over the last few years, not only with like the comfort zone, but also I got really good at social media. I learned like what works and what doesn't for me. And so it's like, I'm going to start over and implement like 4 years of learning. Now I can do it right. And I've grown, like my rate of growth was like 10x faster than what it was previously.
That's amazing. I think that is so like, and then being able to, I don't know, it's just so powerful being able to look at someone who's asking like, what are you doing? Like, because everyone knows exactly what you're saying when you're trying to build a platform and people are questioning you on it. And especially the whole, you're not an influencer. Like, what are you doing? And being able to just confidently say like, no, this is something that I do. And this is something that I'm trying to do. There's a lot of, I think, respect for yourself in owning that. And also respect from other people. Just being like, oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And like some people are super supportive, some aren't. And that's just the reality of things. I remember when I did start growing, like when I hit 10K, like someone took a screenshot and sent to me. They're like, are you buying followers? I was like, no, like I'm just posting. Like I'm just growing.
Yeah.
But yeah, and like some people are supportive of it. And like, I can think of people who like aren't supportive. Like I found out like through the years that like some people like think I'm cringe and like, I hate that Kade's like trying to be an influencer. Like I've heard of people like talk bad about me behind my back, but it's like at the end of the day, like, I'm not going to let that person dictate what I'm doing with my life. And so
Absolutely.
I'm just going to keep going.
Absolutely. I think that is so powerful and amazing. So with someone who's been outside of their comfort zone a million times, what is the next thing? Like, what is the next thing you're chasing? What's the next thing you're doing? If you can even say.
There is something that's on my mind, and I haven't told anyone actually.
OMG. Well, don't feel like you have to.
But well,
give us a teaser.
There's actually a few things that like I'm thinking about. I mean, a lot of people are like, who's the next artist that you're going to go after? Because I started, like I've done a bunch of series. I did like a Jason Derulo series where I posted every day till he commented.
Yeah.
And at the time, like that was scary. It's like, is Jason Derulo ever going to comment? Like,
yeah.
And then it was like, next one is I got Chris Brown to post on his story.
Mm-hmm.
And the next one's like Meet T-Pain. And that's a great example of just like starting small. And so people are like, well, who's the next artist? And it's like, I kind of want to do that, but I don't know. I've got like some physical challenges that I have in mind. It's like hearing that you're doing a half Ironman. It's like,
come do it with me. It's in 3 weeks.
The amount of times, it's funny. Like I've done like 6 races, and I think 3 of them were from stuff like this, where someone's like, hey, come do this last minute race. And I'm like, no, I don't think so. And then they're like, oh, wouldn't want you to be uncomfortable.
And then you can't say no. You literally can't say no. Just know that if you want, December 7th.
December 7th.
California.
That is crazy. Wait, so have you been biking and swimming?
Yeah. I'm going to literally drown. It's fine.
I'm so happy for you.
Thanks. I'm really scared, but it's fine. It's good. It gets me out of my comfort zone. And it honestly is really good. At the
end, there's nothing better than like when you're doing something uncomfortable and you come out on top, like there's nothing more rewarding. And that's how the greatest things in life are, like graduating, like having a family. Like if you think about whatever goal you want to achieve in life or things that you have achieved, I can guarantee it came from, there was some period of discomfort, hard work, something that was uncomfortable that made the end result so sweet.
Oh, absolutely.
And so it's like every time I'm running a race, I'm like, why am I doing this? This is horrible.
Yes.
And then I finish and I'm like, oh,
that's why. That's why. Yes. So and you inspire people around you. Like the whole reason that, because I always have thought that doing an Ironman, half Ironman would be cool. And I remember walking into Vasa one day and seeing our friend Corinne, and she was swimming. And I was like, why are you swimming? Or maybe she was biking. I can't remember. And she told me that she was training for a half Ironman. And we just started talking about it. And then I saw her post about it a few weeks later. And I just was like, man, like if she's just going to buckle down and do that, then like, I got to try this. I got to just try and see.
That's awesome.
I think it's like everything you're saying lately in this, last 10 minutes, it's like start messy, start scared, start where you are, like just start.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. I feel bad. I kind of dodged your question, so I'll give you
no, that's okay.
A proper answer.
Dodge away.
One thing that has been on my mind is I want to do an Ironman.
Okay. So you'll be there December 7th. That's what I'm hearing. You can even bring the Iron Cowboy if you want. It'll be cake to him because it's only a half.
Well, what's funny is I've never wanted to do the Iron Cowboy. Never wanted to do an Ironman until the Iron Cowboy. Like he challenged me to do it like a few years ago, and it's just been like dwelling on my mind. Like I have to do one. At some point, I want to do one. I don't know if it's like the next thing I'm going to do, but that is something that. And he reaches out every so often and is like,
I love that.
And then just like, it's like, when are you doing it? Like, anyway.
It's a good mentor.
Yeah, he's amazing. So I'm grateful for him. So at some point I will do an Ironman. I don't know when it's going to be, but I don't have anything like super locked in.
Yeah.
Final answer to your question, but there will be something.
Ugh. Well, Kade, any parting words of advice?
Start small. I love what you said. Start small, start messy. Just go. At some point during this podcast, the listener, you felt something that like you needed to work on your life. There was some weakness, some area, because we all have weaknesses. And I believe that it doesn't matter what your weakness is, what like genetic limitation you think you have or that you do have or whatever belief you have, like you can't do this, you can't do this, you can't do this, you can overcome it. And I'm just a big believer in that. And it's just like, just start small, whatever that thing is, like go do that thing and start so small. And you'll realize that being uncomfortable isn't as bad as your brain makes it out to be. And there's just truly no growth that will ever happen inside the comfort zone.
Yeah. I love that so much. I mean, I think that there is so much that you said today that if people just start with that one thing that makes them a little bit uncomfortable. And I agree with what you just said, because as we've been talking, there've been things that I'm thinking about where it's like, oh, I can get better in that area and I can get better in that area. And you tend to push them away because you're scared or it feels unachievable. And I think you are such living proof that being consistent, having like the courage and the bravery to step outside of your comfort zone and chase things that are meaningful to you while inspiring other people to do the same is like one of the most powerful, authentic, amazing ways that you can live your life. So I really, really appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
You are amazing.
I'm gonna throw one more thing.
Please.
The listener needs to keep listening to your podcast.
You're so nice.
No, straight up. So I met, when did we meet? Like 5 years ago?
Wasn't it playing soccer?
It was playing soccer.
It's so funny.
One thing that everyone needs to know is Olivia is a baller.
Not like Kade.
No.
Oh my gosh, Kade is crazy.
I remember like you came and guest played for one of a team I was on. And I remember thinking, I was like, this girl is freaking dope.
You're so nice.
We've been playing.
And now we play
soccer.
every Tuesday.
Yeah, we've been playing for a while now.
Yeah.
But I mean that with sincerity, that the listeners should listen to your podcast, because just being in a state of mind of wanting to improve, just like, even if you listen to podcasts once a week, like you're going to be in a better state of mind to improve. And like, you're doing so many amazing things yourself, getting out of your comfort zone.
Oh, thanks.
I mean, doing this podcast, signing up for a half Ironman, and that's going to just help this podcast get better. And so I think the listener needs to keep listening to your podcast because you're killing it.
You're so kind. I appreciate that so much. I really am trying to emulate a lot of the things you talk about being like, even on social media, it's scary and it's hard, but it's just like you said, you just got to start somewhere. So wherever, like whatever you've been thinking as you've been listening to this podcast today, I hope that me and you can continue to be more like Kade and like try to start wherever we are, to start messy, to start scared, and to just do it. So if this podcast resonated with you, which I'm sure it did because Kade is incredible, I would encourage you to share it with someone that you love. Kade inspires me and those around me all the time. And I know that everyone can benefit from the mindset that he has. So as always, I am in your corner. I am cheering you on, and we will see you next week on 20 something.
Let's go.
Thank you, Kade.
That
you
was
are
so
amazing.
good. That was so good. Olivia.